Hey Eric, how you doing? All right. So far, I have started with a rough line work of each of the portraits. Hey, listen, I just want to mention something that I probably should have mentioned earlier, but those sketches that you submitted for part one were just phenomenal. Just beautiful, really, really good sketch work. I mean, each one of those was I could tell exactly who each one was just looking at your rough sketches. So I don't. I wanted to mention something I don't think I did at that point, but I just want to give some words of encouragement as to your sketching um, technique and skills. Absolutely gorgeous. So thank you. All right, and following that vein, this is no exception either. These are fantastic. Each one is. I mean, Travolta here in Pulp Fiction. You can recognize him, and it's not even halfway complete. So your work is really really beautiful. I mean, these have a lot of work to completion, obviously, right? But I think right now the hard line that you've established is so beautifully accurate. I just think it's gorgeous. So fantastic job here, really fantastic job. Moving forward, you got your hard line down, right? That's great. Now it's time to start adding color, texture, and um, um, details, shadow highlights specifically. So I just want to draw your attention to a couple of things here in areas in the classroom that could assist you in the completion of this project. The first one is right over here, and this is week 6, project 3, iconic American entertainers. This the begin stage. Okay, and if you scroll down here, there's these videos, and here's these examples, these Will Smith examples. Remember those? But right up here, this link right here, and it seems like a lot of students miss this. This link right here is fantastic. If you open it, you'll see this technique right here. And this is the old man. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that, but this is a really great tutorial on adding shadow and highlights. Right now, this technique has taken a little bit of a different approach than what I suspect that you have taken in establishing the hard line contour line for your illustrations. Regardless, though, there's a couple of there are some tips and techniques on adding shading and highlight areas here. And over here, this is another fantastic tutorial. This one is completely flat. With the only exception here is this little shadow in the neck, and as you can see, that adds a tremendous amount of depth and volume and dimension to this illustration. So I would like to see a little bit more detail in terms of shadow and highlight, as we can see here. Little highlight areas and little shadow areas. There's little shadows around the hair, shadows in the hair, shadows in the beard, highlight areas around the glasses, the eyes, the eye creases, the nose. We see the same thing here. And finally, I want to draw your attention to back in week 3. We've got some shading and highlight techniques. This is the welcome to week 3 announcement, okay? This is the color lesson, right? But I had these tutorials on shading and highlight techniques, which I've added to. So be sure to check this. So this is, there's 2 video tutorials here on shadow and highlight techniques. There's 6 more here, and then there's 2 more here. So there's a ton of resources here for you to use in completing this technique. One thing I would like to mention is that for consistency in this being a series, I think Jack and Travolta and Samuel L. are all pretty close to the same size. I think right now his face is bigger than the rest, indicating, for a lack of a better way to describe it, indicates that he is closer to the focal plane than the others. And then Jamie Lee, of course, is furthest from the focal plane. You want extreme consistency here, being that this is a series, right? So it just by nature of the word series, we're looking for a high degree of consistency. My recommendation is to make sure each one of the characters takes up about the same space within the picture plane of the working area of the postage stamp. Okay, so it could entail some scale changes. But just so we know that's something we're going to be looking at in consistency in the illustrations. Okay, so fantastic start. I am really looking forward to seeing this one work itself out and seeing you develop this into these gorgeous illustrations for the stamp series. Eric, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any clarifications needed. Thank you very much.